Hey guys, Rolando Rodriguez here with xgains.com, where we got workouts that work, eats that satisfy, and everything else you need to reach your lifestyle goals. So today I want to make a video concerning week 2 update of the Ketogenic Diet 2018 kickoff. Don't know if you saw the video summary of week 1, but going into day 4, I was feeling a little, sluggish during my workout and actually felt pretty bad during the workout. But by the end of the week, my energy level was back to normal, and I actually experienced that I had more endurance and more strength this week going into week 2 of the ketogenic diet than I did the previous week. In terms of energy throughout the day, felt great the entire day. Didn't really feel sleepy, groggy, cranky, emotional, irritable, whatever the case may be. Consistent, noticeable, even energy throughout the day, which is something if somebody's ever been in ketosis for a little bit knows about. You actually feel this different vibe, mentally. It's just like you just feel less stressed, you feel less tensed in your mind, less cloudy, less tired. A lot of people say that they get it when they're intermittent fasting, but I get it a lot more when I'm following a ketogenic diet than when I intermittent fast. Now, if you're intermittent fasting and following the ketogenic diet, you're going to probably experience it that much better, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. And in the future, we're going to talk about how I think intermittent fasting and the ketogenic diet are sort of two different sides of the same coin. They pretty much can go hand in hand. One benefits the other and vice versa. But for this video, stick to the summary. In terms of energy, like I said, during my workout and during the day, much improved this week. I also stuck to the 1,800 calorie average for the entire week. Talked about it a number of times before. I follow caloric cycling on a regular basis no matter what eating approach I'm doing. So for example, my caloric intake goal right now for this cut is 1,800 calories a day, but instead of hitting 1,800 calories every single day, I'd go for an 1,800 calorie intake average for the week. So Monday I might have more calories, Tuesday I have less, and so on and so forth, but making sure that the average is always 1,800 calories for the week. When I drop down my calories to 1,600 calories, I'll continue caloric cycling, but the average weekly intake will be 1,600. Speaking of the 1,800 calorie cut, it's actually 200 more calories a day than I did last year and that I've done the last couple of years. As some of you may already know, I've been following the ketogenic diet for 10 to 11 months out the year for about the last 4.5 years now, and it's something that I'm going to continue to do for the rest of my life. I think my body feels best on it, my body composition's best on it, and that's just something that I will continue to do, especially as I start getting older in life and I need to work out a bit less, which is actually what's going on this year. As you guys may already know, because I've talked about it before, as I get older, I find it harder to recover from workouts as easily as I used to, so I'm having to cut back on my workload. And I did that this specific year for the first time. I typically do 3 workout sessions leading into summer, but this year I'm only trying 2. And on top of that, instead of dropping down to 1,600 calories a week, I stayed at 1,800 calories to see what's gonna happen. So I'm eating 200 more calories than I did this time last year, and I'm doing 1 less workout session, and I'm still losing weight. The total weight loss for week 2 was 6 pounds. Is that as much as it was last year or other times that I, follow a ketogenic diet? No. But I'm eating more calories, I'm working out less, and I'm still losing weight. And I have the time to lose the weight slowly. Guys, I suggest this for everybody out there. If you have a couple of months or longer to lose your weight, then don't do a drastic cut immediately. Because if you lower your calories too low, you're not going to have really a lot to play with when it's time to reduce your calories even more because you hit a plateau, right? So leave room to play with. Always cut at the minimal deficiency you can possibly cut. So at the highest calorie count, right? Because that gives you the most room to play with when you do hit those plateaus. And here's another thing. If you're starting a ketogenic diet for the first time or a low carb, high fat approach, and you've never attempted this and you're dropping your calories, it's going to be the double whammy towards your body. You're dropping the carb intake that you normally give it plus the calorie intake. So I would suggest one of two things. Don't reduce your calories at all. So you drop your carb intake, but you increase your fat intake to your maintenance caloric intake and see what that happens. Because for the most of us, if we just drop our carb intake, we're going to start to see our body change its composition. Now, if you've already done that and you're not losing weight, then start dropping your calories, right? So now that we're done with that aside, again, recap going into week 2. Noticeable more energy during my workout and during the day. Continued the 1,800 calories a day intake and lost another 2 pounds. And the fourth thing I want you guys to know is something I noticed going into day 2 of this week, which I always notice going back into, a ketogenic diet, and that is that I was just less hungry. As you guys may already know, I follow an 18-6 intermittent fasting protocol, which means I fast for 18 hours a day and I eat for 6 hours a day. Now, my fed window is normally from 3 p.m., that's when I start eating, to 9 p.m., that's when I stop eating. What I noticed on day 2 of the second week of the ketogenic diet is that I wasn't hungry at 3 p.m. I normally start getting hungry around 2 p.m. Well, here it was like 4:30. I was like, oh man, I missed lunch. Now, why is this a problem? If you're trying to lose weight, not really that much of a problem. You skipped lunch. You had a little less calories that day. That's all good, right? But if you're trying to gain lean muscle, or if you're trying to, hit a specific caloric intake, whatever the case may be, you may have to remind yourself to eat. Why did I force or remind myself to eat? Well, reminding myself to eat because I've done an experiment of one in the past where I've did for 2 months, I just ate 1 meal a day. So where I would normally eat my meals from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. and I might have 2 or 3 meals, I was just having 1 meal. And I was having the same amount of calories in that 1 meal as I was in my 2 to 3 meals. And when I followed the Spartan or the Warrior diet, where I had 1 meal a day for the 2 months, I maintained my weight. So my weight was the same, but visually my body composition wasn't there. I was actually leaner eating multiple times a day than I was once a day. And there's a lot of people out there that swear by the Spartan or the Warrior diet, and I believe them because to each his own. But for me, because I did the experiment and I did it for a long enough duration to actually see the results, I noticed I, for some reason, look leaner eating at least twice a day than I do once a day. So that's why I follow an 18-6 intermittent fasting protocol 5 days a week and only fast for 24 hours 2 days a week. Sometimes I'll do it more often. Sometimes I might, intermittent fast for a full 24 hours, 4 days that week because just life got in the way and that's what ended up happening. But I don't like to do that on a regular basis. On a regular basis, I like to eat from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. And that's just me. I believe I'm leaner eating a couple of times a day versus 1 meal a day, but you might be different. You won't know until you try it out. Just like you won't know if the ketogenic diet, low carb, high fat eating approach, the South Beach, whatever diet you want to try is right for you unless you attempt it. I'm here sharing my experiences and sharing what I'm going through because I want people to know out there that there's something that works for me that might work for you guys. And I might do this again in January next year and I'm not losing as much weight. Whatever the case may be, the truth is I'm being true to myself and I'm being accountable to myself and I'm documenting what's happening so that when it doesn't work, I know and I know what to change, right? Because everything works until it doesn't. That's it for now. This is Rolando Rodriguez with xgains.com. Please let me know if you had any questions or comments down below. Please like, subscribe, and share to this channel. If you haven't done so already, I'd greatly appreciate it. The website again is that's the symbol, not the word, gains.com. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Peace.